Hey everyone, and welcome to Empowering Smart Energy and Utilities with LoRaWAN, Innovations, Insights, and Impact. I'm excited to kick things off on behalf of the LoRa Alliance. We are a global open nonprofit association that develops and maintains the LoRaWAN standard. For those of you in the utilities and energy sector, the LoRa Alliance offers a direct way to connect, collaborate, and stay ahead. We have an active utilities working group, regular utilities-focused webinars, and opportunities to showcase and engage at key events like Enlit. If you're working towards smarter, more sustainable operations, I encourage you to join the LoRa Alliance and plug into this global ecosystem. At Enlit Europe, you can find us in Hall 1, stand C42, right in the center of the action. Stop by to see real-world LoRaWAN deployments and connect directly with experts driving the energy transition. You'll find some incredible LoRa Alliance members sharing the booth with us. Together, they represent the full spectrum of LoRaWAN innovation, from network infrastructure and connectivity to devices and data platforms. So be sure to visit them at stand 1.c42 to explore demos, ask questions, and see how LoRaWAN is making utilities smarter, more efficient, and more sustainable. We've got a lot happening on-site at Enlit. Join us for a networking reception on Wednesday, November 19th, starting at 5 p.m. in the LoRa Alliance booth. It's a great chance to unwind, connect, and enjoy some food, drinks, and great company. And don't miss the panel discussion in the Digitalization Hub, which is in Hall 1, where LoRa Alliance CEO Alper Yegan will share insights on digital water transformation. And of course, come by stand C42 anytime to explore our wall of devices. It's a showcase of LoRaWAN products and solutions. And so today's session will give you a sneak peek at what's to come at Enlit. We'll start with 6 quick spotlight talks, each highlighting a different innovation in LoRaWAN for utilities and energy, followed by a panel discussion on where LoRaWAN is taking utilities in 2026 and beyond. So let's dive in.
Hello, thank you for participating to this webinar organized by LoRa Alliance, and thank you, Shansi, for making it happen. I am Yann Baudien. I am the sales director of Carelink, and I will speak today about reliable network connectivity for metering infrastructure. So as a slide 1, a short introduction about who is Carelink. Carelink is a company founded in France 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago, focusing on IoT, previously machine-to-machine, at the so-called machine-to-machine, and now IoT. We are founding member of LoRa Alliance in 2015. We are a company that is certified ISO 9001, and we are also a listed company in the Euronext Growth in Paris. So what do we do in Carelink? We provide IoT infrastructure to our partners. By IoT infrastructure, we mean 2 things you can basically see in this gray part of this gray box on the screen that are gateways, so radio gateways, mostly in LoRaWAN. We also have some other technologies available. And we also provide a cockpit solution to authorize to monitor remotely this gateway. So both of these units make the infrastructure. So what we do not do is outside of this box. On the left, you can see everything about devices. We do not do any device. And we also do not do any third application, business application, vertical application, as you can see on the right. So next. So focusing a bit more on the reliability of networks, when a collectivity wants to deploy a smart metering projects, the collectivity has different choices in terms of topology. We can identify two main topologies. One is for public networks and second one for private networks. Public networks means that the collectivity will require the services of a public operator like Netmore or Orange, for example, who have previously deployed a nationwide network, not only for metering, but for various use cases that LoRaWAN can offer. And in that case, the collectivity will just subscribe generally per device service from these operators to collect the data from the meters. For private networks, the second technology, there are some choices as well. Choice one, like for collectivity 1 and 2 on this example, is to put in the tender, in the contract, that the service, the water or energy provider needs to provide as well the AMR system, the metering system and the metering infrastructure as part of the service. So this is typically what Veolia or SOR can do. A third example is also that the collectivity could wish to own the infrastructure, the radio infrastructure, the network itself. So in such a case, the collectivity can ask an integrator to install and operate such a network that the collectivity will own at the end. So here, between these different topologies, this is not really a matter of reliability. This is more a question of strategy for the collectivity and capacity to invest. So now, if we want to focus more on the robustness and reliability of a network, we should consider, next slide, please. Yeah, so about reliability, the smart metering project can be based on three pillars I have identified. Pillar one is the robustness of the hardware itself. A smart metering project is for minimum 10 years. And of course, this is not acceptable to uninstall, repair gateways, infrastructures. This is very costly and damages the business model for such a network. So Callink's answer for that is to provide a lifetime guarantee on the hardware itself. Second pillar for the success of a metering project for the infrastructure part is to minimize the OPEX cost. So once again, a bit like for the first pillar, the idea is to avoid any on-site intervention, on-site upgrade of software. Everything you can do remotely will save some costs, and this is also what we offer in Callink. We offer a platform, IoT platform, to administrate remotely the network. And the third pillar that is not really new, but more and more important, is the cyber resilience of the network. Your gateways, directly or indirectly, will be connected to the internet. So in that case, you need to comply with regulations, especially EN 18031, but not only. And so once again, we provide in Callink some solutions that comply with those regulations. So I will be happy to meet you and speak about these topics with you on the 18th November at the LoRa Alliance booth, 1C42. And I would ask Jean-Philippe to take the next presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. As Jan described, very good. LoRaWAN offers a very good foundation for utility projects there, and this is where I want to give some insights what some of our customers did with LoRaWAN and how they achieved successful projects. As you can see on the next slide, just some brief words about Zenner. We have a 120 years long history, but in the last 10 years, we are focusing on the digital infrastructures and also just saw very successful projects with our customers that they were using LoRaWAN as a broad backbone for the IoT infrastructure. On the next slide, just 2 words about my background. I'm a background from urban planning, so I come from the smart city perspective, but I now just realized that in the utility business, there are many same requirements there also for create connectivity, for create an ecosystem. And this is where I think that both worlds will emerge more and more together to be a successful smart city with smart utilities. On the next slide, I want to also mention that one of the key milestones that Senna achieved in the last years was to touch the 10 million devices of LoRaWAN with them for all of our customers as a total number of devices, which is for us a big milestone, but also shows that LoRaWAN is really scalable and can also manage big data sets. The next slide shows one of our first examples I want just to bring, because this is a small city in Germany, the city of Amberg, where they were starting their metering projects with LoRaWAN, which they did quite good. So meanwhile, they have 2,000 LoRaWAN meters in place, but they said we chose LoRaWAN because we wanted it for the technology, but we can do so much more with it. We have a very good ecosystem, and we want to be also their provider for the IoT infrastructure for further smart city projects in the city, because we as utility, the Stadtwerke Amberg, want to do both of them for our city. And as you can see in the next slide, for instance, what they were doing for their utility core business, they also made monitoring of salt silos, of soil moisture detection, and also for the salting the streets for the icy road protection. So this is also beside their core business of metering for the Stadtwerke Amberg, also other utility-related businesses they are gonna achieve with LoRaWAN, and just they are very happy and successful in the way as they are doing. As well, you can see on the next slide, as utility, they're also taking care on the public buildings. So what they were doing, they were controlling the heat thermostats with LoRaWAN. They're making smart building developments and dashboards, all within their core duties or as utility, where they said with all of those environment things, we can use LoRaWAN for its backbone. And the next slide, another example I just want to bring, the Stadtwerke Dillingen. They're also a medium-sized German city where they started with LoRaWAN for metering, with having now 10,000 water meters put in place. But what they said also, we want to be connectivity provider for LoRaWAN, not just only for us, but also for our neighbors, that they can do their smart metering purposes. And so now they're in a way expanding their own network to the neighboring cities and providing them as a digital infrastructure provider. And on the next slide, this principle of being a digital infrastructure provider is also being done by the city of Hamburg. So one of our customers, the Hamburger Energienetz, I just want to mention, because they more or less did the same principle as the Stadtwerke Dillingen did, but just on a much bigger scale, because they are embracing roughly 600 gateways now and having more than 40,000 devices in the net. Also starting with metering purposes for them, and then now using LoRaWAN as whole digital infrastructure backbone for their purposes. And when you can see on the next slide, they also having built up on this connectivity a citywide LoRaWAN dense network now established, and also a lot of various use cases which are partly smart city, partly smart utility, but in a way affecting the utilities core business in this way and addressing those issues. On the next slide, just what I also want to mention, we have a currently ongoing survey with our utilities within our work group going. It's currently in place, but I just wanted to give a sneak peek on the data. What are the successful use cases with LoRaWAN? And as you can see here, the vast majority goes to metering, but still there are other ones catching up, as well as the ones which are according with the smart city use case that I showed. So we will also give some more insights about those survey at the booth in Bilbao, and can talk with you. And yeah, on the next slide, just I want to round it up. I also asked, or we asked our customers, why do you use LoRaWAN? So they just said it's of course because of the technical capabilities and that we have the whole package together for those issues. But the reason why it is really successful is that they can scale it and that they also, as was shown by the examples, you can do so much more than metering for utilities. And this is great how LoRaWAN established such a connection, such a digital foundation. And this is why our customers love to use LoRaWAN. And especially when it comes to the digital possibilities for connectivity, this is where Dwayne will give some more details about LoRaWAN and its connectivity purposes. Thank you very much, and see you in Bilbao.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Dwayne Wald from Multitech, where for more than 50 years, we've been enabling M2M and the Internet of Things, connecting critical assets and data across industries worldwide. At Multitech, we design and develop and manufacture industrial-grade IoT hardware and software that make it easier for organizations to connect, monitor, and manage remote assets. We partner with the IoT ecosystem and our customers, which include utilities, municipalities, and solution providers, to simplify the path from concept to deployment, helping turn IoT data into operational insights and measurable value. Our role is to make IoT work reliably at scale, and that starts with the technologies we've helped shape. Next slide. Multitech is proud to be a founding member of the LoRa Alliance, which drives the open LoRaWAN standard for low power, long-range IoT communications. Our early involvement means we don't just use the technology, we help build the ecosystem around it. Through years of deployments across many industries, including smart metering, grid monitoring, and other utility jobs, we've gained deep expertise in LoRaWAN networks, from devices to gateways to application integration. That experience allows us to guide utilities and solution providers in selecting the right connectivity approach, whether LoRaWAN, cellular, or hybrid, based on performance, cost, coverage, and scalability needs. Next slide. Despite growing IoT adoption, many of our IoT customers, including utilities, still face a familiar set of problems: integration, automation, and management. Different vendors, devices, and data formats make it hard to unify systems and share information. Manual provisioning and maintenance slow down scale-up and increase operational costs. Once thousands of devices are deployed, keeping them secure and up-to-date become a challenge. This is where IoT can become more burden than benefit. Utilities need solutions that simplify, standardize, and secure these environments at scale, turning a complex landscape into a manageable data-driven network. And that's precisely where Multitech delivers value. Next. At Multitech, our approach focuses on three core outcomes: secure connectivity, operational optimization, and future readiness. We offer industrial-grade cellular and LoRaWAN gateways and devices with built-in security and proven reliability, ensuring critical infrastructure data stays protected from devices to cloud. Our platforms automate onboarding, monitoring, and updates, reducing truck rolls, simplifying maintenance, and improving uptime. Because we support multiple network technologies, utilities can scale and evolve without vendor lock-in, extending the life of existing assets and adapting to new use cases. Whether you're upgrading AMI infrastructure, deploying remote sensors, or modernizing grid communication, Multitech provides a unified foundation that bridges diverse IoT systems into a cohesive network. In short, Multitech helps utilities move from complexity to clarity, integrating secure, automated, and flexible IoT solutions that drive smarter operations and long-term resilience. So we welcome you to connect with us and explore how Multitech and its ecosystem can help your organization accelerate its digital transformation. Thank you very much. Now I will turn this over to Remy.
Hey everyone, I'm Remy Demerlet from Marketing Director of Semtech, in charge also of the Smart Water and Energy Work Group in the LoRa Alliance. I'm excited to share how we think at Semtech about connectivity in smart metering. For over a decade, we have been pushing boundaries of what's possible with LoRa technology. We are a semiconductor company. We design and manufacture the LoRa chips for nodes and for gateways. We also provide software libraries, including LoRaWAN stack and multiple protocols that enhance the capabilities of our LoRa radios. We will see how with this unified software platform, we are here providing new solutions for smart metering. Next slide. Let me give you some context. Proudly, Semtech has shipped over 450 million end nodes for LoRa. It's also a large number for gateway in addition to that. And that's not by accident. It's because we consistently delivered on three promises: simplicity, affordability, and transformation. This is how the LoRa modulation used commonly for LoRaWAN. It can also be used for different protocols. We have in the next slide a good announcement of our new LoRa Plus, the LR 2021. It's a transceiver with the LoRa Gen 4 technology. It has dual band for offering different ranging capabilities. It also supports different protocols that on the same hardware allows to have either LoRaWAN, wireless M-Bus, Z-Wave, FLRC, also WISN, and also proprietary protocols if needed. That possibility to have flexible use of different protocols over the same hardware simplify cost and efforts for utilities. Let's have a look into the evolution of the different product generation in next slide. With the LoRa Generation 4, we have achieved something remarkable. We have doubled the range compared to Generation 1 and 2. We are reaching sensitivities of minus 142 dBm. That means you can cover twice the distance, or you can reduce your time on air by 75%. But here, really what matters for deployment, we have reduced transmit current at plus 40 dBm to just 30 milliamperes. That's 40% improvement over previous generation. Longer battery life. It means also fewer gateways, fewer truck rolls, fewer operational cost. We're not stopping at LoRa. The Generation 4 supports also a 2.6 megabit per second with FLRC, which allows to transfer, for example, some files or some information. So you can achieve also a better throughput, double of what we had before, with 125 kilobits per second in SF5. Regarding the product availability, in next slide, the slide before, we are here describing the planning. So the LR 2021 is now available by October. And in the first quarter of 2026, we will introduce LR 2022, where it will really focus on serious application for also SATCOM, but also for sub-gig and allowing different support. And the LR 2012 that will also optimize for deployments, typically in metering, combining the standard protocols. So let's have a look to a use case of a smart metering with our partners. We know that many utilities have a common, I would say, a need for dual connectivity. It's either by need of redundancy, migration from legacy infrastructure, or to maximize the coverage and meter reading rate. But typically, utilities require two connectivity. One can be used for a fixed network and the other for walk-by or drive-by system. That's one of the typical examples we see in many tenders today in Europe. Or it can be existing infrastructure with wireless and bus, and then a potential plan for migration to LoRaWAN. So a combination of two AMI systems. AMI stands for Advanced Metering Infrastructure, and AMR stands for Automated Meter Reading. So during Enlit, we will showcase the live demos with our partners, Mbit for the module and WebDIN for the concentrator, to illustrate how we can hot switch between one AMI to the other, or one AMI to AMR, and vice versa. That will illustrate the challenge of having a fallback system that is dynamically switching from protocol to the other, and also the benefit to combine existing infrastructure together. What is the impact? The impact is a longer range. With LoRaWAN, wireless and bus is good for short range and for this method of walk-by, drive-by system that are commonly adopted. It's also a possibility to have different scenarios that could, for example, mix other protocols together. So we are inviting you to come up to Enlit to see these demos, and with our partners like Mbit and WebDIN, we will welcome any appointment. Thank you. Now it's time for Ricardo Cordero from Jans to present its solution with Jans.
Thank you, Remy. Good afternoon. I'm Ricardo Cordero. I'm a Sales and Marketing Director at Jans. If we can see the next slide, please. So we are a smart a water meter manufacturer based out of Lisbon, Portugal, and we produce and distribute worldwide water meters and smart metering solutions. We have over 100 years of experience in the water sector, driving innovation ever since. The value that we bring to our customers, the utilities, it's mainly focused in high-performance measuring technologies, from the highly proven mechanical single jet and volumetric to the latest fully static electronic ultrasonic meter, detecting the lowest of flows. So these are tools to reduce leakage and consequently non-revenue water for our customers, the utilities. Together with our water meters, we provide our MyWater software platform. This enables our customers to take data-driven decisions, promoting the maximization of their revenues. It's important to say also that all our water meter portfolio incorporates intelligence. From our retrofit radio modules that we can use with all our legacy meters, going through our hybrid mechanical e-register meters. So in our mechanical measuring technologies, we are already integrating communication, and we also arrived to our latest ultrasonic meter, the SmartU. All of them have cutting-edge communication and alarm features that enable the enhancement of the service provided to the end user. Since the end of 2020, we are part of the multinational Italian group SIT. And so we are now able to empower cities and utilities in all 5 different continents and help them manage water services with reliability and precision. If we can go to the next tile. So I'm here today to talk to you about some lessons learned from utility field deployments. Considering this, I would point out what would be the main challenges we have faced in the majority of the projects we participate in. So as main challenges, it's important to mention what we call the conception versus deployment. What we have seen is that a very rigorous network planning needs to be done. Or the risk is that when we go to the field for the real deployment, we can get a lot of surprises. Gateway installation points are very important, as are also the location of the installation of the meters. We have been in projects where theoretically we would have available certain locations for the antennas, and then that was not the case in reality. Also, we were also informed about certain installation conditions for the meters, and also the reality showed us something different with a lot of unexpected obstacles. What we also consider a very important factor is the monitorization of the projects. The expectation of our customers for residential smart metering projects is that they would last the minimum lifetime of the water meters on the field. So we could be talking anywhere between 10 to 15 years. We have to realize that a project, at the end of its implementation, it's not static, it's very dynamic through the rest of the operation period. It's mandatory to keep a continuous monitoring because the landscape changes and new obstacles can arise. If the solution is not maintained proactively, the service levels can drop below the minimum acceptable. For this, I think it's also very important to point out the advantages that we have with the LoRaWAN technology. The first one, it's its scalability and flexibility. So when we think about what I've mentioned before, when we are faced with the fact that we don't have the ideal network immediately available, this technology allows as a first step the automatic spread factor adjustments of the devices. So more power to communicate to compensate for some inefficiency. Another important thing that also Remy mentioned is the possibility for a multi-protocol. So if we have wireless M-Bus, even if we are using as a fixed network LoRa, for a period of time, we can also compensate some inefficiencies if we have wireless M-Bus as a fallback scenario. So we can continue to retrieve data through walk-by or drive-by. But then it's actually quite easy to densify the network, be it with fully operational gateways and antennas, or complementing with cost-effective repeater solutions for some shadow areas. The second big advantage that we see is its true interoperability. Being an open standard has allowed for a lot of different manufacturers to develop LoRaWAN compliant products. By deciding for LoRaWAN technology, our customers know that they have a competitive environment for their project to operate. When they select products certified by LoRa Alliance, they know they can put them together and they will work. This way, I think in the eyes of the utilities, they have really an agnostic solution, meaning that they have different options of devices to choose from since they start their project and throughout the maintenance and growth of their solution. I'm sure we'll continue to learn as we go, but these would be the main highlights. Thank you for your interest and see you in Bilbao. And now I will pass it to Robert.
Thank you, Ricardo. So my name is Robert. I am head of VP Global Sales at Tectelic. So let me introduce quickly Tectelic. Tectelic, it's a Canadian company based in Calgary with over 15 years expertise in wireless IoT and deployment across 40 countries. Tectelic focus on delivering LoRaWAN solution that boost efficiency, minimize operational cost, and meet the challenges of large-scale utility projects. Next slide, please. Next. So, yeah, sorry. So scaling IoT goes really beyond simply multiplying connected devices. It demands robust network solution to serve massive rollouts, which is often more than 100,000 endpoints. Tectelic portfolio with 8 to 16 to 32 to 64 channel gateways will cover all the needs for any massive deployment. All these gateways are designed with high quality radio to ensure utilities will need fewer gateways for the same or even greater coverage. The benefit will be clearly to lower the infrastructure cost, more coverage with less gateways. This is what we offer. Next slide, please. Oh, sorry. So the three pillars for a successful massive deployment are interoperability, deep coverage, and cost control. Tectelic network provide a backbone for resilient and scalable solution. We provide remote management control if required. We are compliant with multi-vendor integration, building redundancy with the CONAMEGA, and we reduce the cost of the total cost of ownership. Next, please. So that's an example of the deployment in Palermo, in Italy. So Tectelic technology enable a smart water network across the cities. We serve 145,000 users with 150 carrier-grade gateways. Here, the high radio quality and the interference protection that Unidata got with the 16-channel Kona Macro were really pivotal for the success of this deployment, delivering 20% less water loss and 30% lower operational cost. This is why LoRaWAN and Tectelic were the clear choice for the metropolitan scale solution. Next slide, please. So the last one, it's really about the North America deployment. So across more than 100 cities, our 64-channel CONAMEGA gateways support 700,000 water meters. Utilities benefit from the real-time network visibility, automated reading, infrastructure that minimize both packet loss and deployment cost. We bring carrier-grade gateway to city for the benefit of water utilities. So thank you. And right now, I think we are going to move to the panel discussion.
Okay, those are great insights from all our speakers. Thank you for sharing those very forward-thinking use cases and innovations. Now, before we close, we're going to spend a few minutes looking towards the future with a quick panel discussion and Q&A with the topic, where is LoRaWAN taking utilities in 2026 and beyond? So let's talk future. LoRaWAN has come a long way in utilities, but what's around the corner? And as we move towards 2026, what trends, technologies, and/or market shifts are going to shape the next phase of growth? So I open the floor to the speakers.
Thanks, Chance. Yeah, I can chime in here on that topic. I think we're continuing to see the emergence of alternative energy sources. I think those are going to play big into the modernization of our legacy grid systems globally. I think LoRaWAN plays a role in that and is a key to kind of help build smarter systems in general.
I think one of the things that would be important is for LoRaWAN networks to provide more and more, let's say, service to let's say, multi-vertical connectivity, being either through network operators deploying LoRa to provide connectivity services to several applications, or in the case of the utilities, since we a lot of times are talking about municipal companies that actually manage other utilities like trash collection, lighting, parking, other things like this, for them to be able, let's say, to while implementing LoRa networks, use these networks for multiple applications. This way we can have much more, let's say, competitive networks as far as LoRa goes when competing with other technologies out there in the market. Because a lot of the projects that we are involved in, the networks have been deployed specifically for let's say the smart metering project. So I think we still have some way to go in order to have these networks providing connectivity to other applications other than smart metering. So not specifically build something around the specific project, but use the technology and the network for other verticals.
Totally agree on your side. The feedback we get from customers is just that they are surprised how good it works, scaling it up with the whole ecosystem, and also just see their core utility businesses and just have their view and perspective just beyond what is possible.
Yeah, I can also confirm what has been said previously by Dwayne, Jan-Philippe, and Ricardo. We can witness a full adoption of LoRaWAN in metering aspects. We can see that LoRaWAN has answered the needs from utilities in terms of robustness, cyber resilience again, many parts of the needs of utilities. So LoRaWAN actually is no-brainer at all anymore. And I would say there is no competition in terms of technology at all anymore in that domain, what was not the case maybe 5 years ago. So this is a big change, and I think it will be confirmed in the next years. You can see also that there is a democratization, I would say, from LoRaWAN. LoRaWAN is not a matter of engineers anymore. We are not in that time of engineers speaking to some other engineers. It's now fully on the shelf, ready to use, easy to use. And this is also a big change for the next years. And so, as Ricardo was mentioning, one of the beauties of LoRaWAN is that, okay, it fits the need for metering aspects, but you can absolutely enlarge your projects to any other use case, up to the smart city topics we can meet. So this is something that is key with LoRaWAN, that you can maybe start metering, but go to and offer new services and have other use cases with the same network.
What I can add, maybe it's what we find from the customer. There is a demand for the 5G network integration. That's one demand. On the Semtech side, I think there is a continuous innovation for the chipset modulation. We improve the data rate and the power efficiency. This is what actually they do. And there is a last point about the incorporation of maybe the advanced feature like the edge computing on the device side. So that's what we can, I mean, kind of customer demand right now. Thank you.
Thanks all for those great insights. It is clear there's a lot of momentum and innovation ahead for LoRaWAN in utilities. So let's now move into a quick Q&A and address a few of the questions that have come in from our audience. The first one is LoRa suitable for traffic management with moving parts? Can LoRa devices change gateways while moving? Dwayne, could you take that one?
Yeah, I think LoRa is excellent for tracking applications due to its long range, low power consumption, and cost-effective networks. I think it's a great technology for this. I think you need to caveat that with it's not necessarily suitable for high data rate or real-time tracking applications. That's where it doesn't have the service levels you probably need if you're doing, depends on the granularity you're looking for. But certainly, I think it's a great technology for general asset location and some tracking. It does move. You can, if you have a centralized network infrastructure, certainly the endpoints move between gateways and your data lands in the same spot. So yeah, it's compatible with moving assets. And if you look at even indoor asset location and trying to create more granularity, when you start marrying up LoRaWAN with other wireless technologies, you kind of create a much more granular asset management system for location. And we see that in terms of manufacturing operations and other types of where you want to monitor and manage where assets are within a facility or in a yard, as an example.
Great. Thanks, Wayne.
Yeah,
Oh.
just to complement at the difference of mesh technologies or NB-IoT, mobility is not at all a problem. With LoRaWAN, the mobile asset tracking is already a great use case. We have many examples, but also the capability, for example, to fly over a fleet of meters is possible. So you can collect with mobile gateway. So it can be either the device to be mobile or the gateway to be mobile as well.
Great. The next question is, for smart metering applications using LoRaWAN, what message packet standards or formats do you recommend?
Yeah, when we speak to utilities and they ask for interoperability, very often they ask for a standard support, meaning they wish to have a simpler data integration. So all devices are speaking the same format, same language. LoRaWAN being agnostic, it can support any language. I mean, application language. But nevertheless, looking at the market demand, there are two important standards. One is DLMS, most used for electrical meters. And the other one is wireless and bus, also supported by the OMS metering group. So the LoRa Alliance has two active liaisons with the DLMS Association on one end and with the OMS metering group on the other end to support the standardization of these metering standards over LoRaWAN.
Awesome. Thanks, Remy.
I also think that the power of LoRaWAN is in the fact that it is an open protocol, and the ecosystem has adopted publishing of codecs and whatnot in data formats so that it can be easily transformed into any application, whatnot. I think that's very powerful in its flexibility. And the whole ecosystem adopted a certain model around that. So I think that's an important part of scalability and really kind of having an ecosystem to work with without vendor lock-in.
Great point. Thanks, Dwayne. And with that, let's move to just a couple of closing remarks. Thank you so much to all of our speakers for those incredible insights, and to everyone who joined us today for empowering smart energy and utilities with LoRaWAN. We've heard some amazing real-world examples of how LoRaWAN is transforming the utilities sector, from energy management and smart metering to water monitoring and predictive maintenance. The message is clear. LoRaWAN is here, it's proven, and it's driving measurable impact across the globe. If today's session sparked new ideas or ideas for partnerships, don't let the conversation stop here. Come see us in person at Enlit. In Hall 1, stand C42, you'll find live demos, certified devices, and several member solutions on display on our wall of devices and solutions. It's a great opportunity to meet the people behind the innovation and dive deeper into how these technologies can fit into your use cases. And again, be sure to join our networking reception on Wednesday, November 19th from 5 to 6:30 p.m. at the LoRa Alliance booth. It's the perfect place to connect with peers over some good food, drinks, and great conversation. And of course, you can always learn more by joining the LoRa Alliance, or if you're already a member, by registering for upcoming utilities working group sessions and by signing up for our upcoming webinars. On behalf of the LoRa Alliance, thank you again for joining us, and we can't wait to see you at Enlit Europe.